Good day, X-Facted family. My name is Bliss, Sibiya, the founder of X-Facted Youth International, a company that aims to build high-performance youth across the globe. We build youth through what we call the X Factor. When we speak about X-Facted youth, we speak about a youth that aims to be excellent, a youth who aims to be extraordinary, a youth who aims to exceed societal expectations, a youth that executes effectively and is willing to go the extra mile. I want to come into your space today and speak about a particular title. Now, this title is somewhat what I would consider common sense, but we tend to forget the essence of these titles. It's one of those conversations where it's like when it pops up, it's like, but I knew this, but I just wasn't paying attention. The title of this episode is Everyone Has to Put in Work. Now, what do I mean by this? There are average youth that think in their minds and they believe that they do not have to put in work. They are comfortable where they are. They sleep 8 hours a day, maybe even more. Some of them chill with their friends for 4 or 5 hours by the tuck shop or just chilling at home. They're not putting in work. And then there's the top 1% of youth who are considered amongst the best of the best in society. Sometimes the best of the best in the school, best of the best in varsity. They learn different languages, they have music lessons, they take extra subject lessons, even though they're really good at it. They're putting in work. The best example of these type of individuals or the population is the Asian population. You look at China, you look at Japan, you look at India. The youth there are always putting in work. They learn coding, they learn a musical instrument. They do all of these things in their time. Why do they do this? Because they know that one day they will be rewarded for it. So they have to put in the work now. They have to put in the work while they are young. In the world that we live in, there's huge competition. Huge competition, fierce competition, especially with globalization. There's a Nigerian who wants to get that job in France, or there's a Nigerian or a Zimbabwean that wants to get their job in the UK. There's fierce competition. There's people that are not even from particular countries that are trying to get that job that's in that country. Meanwhile, they are locals. There's people in the UK that are very qualified for that job, but they're considering going outside to find human capital. So there's fierce competition. So do not think that because you are stuck in a particular country, that if you apply for a job, you are entitled to it. There's fierce competition out there. And that's what we need to understand as youth. In Kabeni, there's just too much. There's just too much competition from all directions, from the west, from the east, from the north, from the south. It's just too much. So we do not have a choice but to put in work. Average is just not going to cut it. We tend to forget that as youth, the foundation or the pace is created in our youth. Let's not ever think that in our 40s and our 50s, that is when the foundation gets to be laid. If you are a late bloomer, then you have to work 10 times as hard. But when you are young, when you are energetic, when you still have time to make mistakes, go ahead and make them at a younger age. The foundation, the very fundamental, the foundation, the pace, it's all in the youth stage. That is why people learn languages at a younger age, because it's difficult to master the language at an older age. So they do all of these things at a young age because they firmly believe, I personally believe, that is the right time. They say start something early, fail early, because we still have the energy as youth to pick ourselves back up and to get on with it. 99% of youth are relying on finding jobs, but the top percent are creating them. The top 1% have a different mentality. The top 1% who are considered the best of the best are still putting in work. Let's not think that because Coca-Cola is the biggest beverage company in the world, they are just going to stop and have customers buying their products. No. They continue to be aggressive with their marketing to stay on top of the consumer's mind and maintain that position. They market their position as if they are still the underdog. If you look at high performance individuals, you look at people like Elon Musk, You look at people like Jeff Bezos. They're already rich. They're already balling. But they're still putting in work. They're still trying to buy more time. Elon Musk has over 2-3 businesses, and he manages to ensure that he's present in all of them. Some of us don't even have a business, but we are still acting as if we are already rich, we're already wealthy. There's a story about, my dad was telling me this one of the days. He was saying that there was this Japanese person who came to South Africa, and he was frustrated at how slow things are and how people don't really understand that time is very important. This Japanese guy didn't understand the concept of showering for 15 minutes when all you have to do is just clean your body, which takes minimum 60 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or whatever. And this Japanese guy was like, I do not understand the concept of spending 15 minutes showering when you can use those 15 minutes to do something else. Showering can only take 5 minutes at maximum. But the other 10 minutes, you could be doing something else that is very valuable, because time is important. Time is money, time is currency. And that stuck with me. Some of us spend time just sitting and watching TV, consuming, when we could have used that time trying to find a way to produce. And that's what the agents have mastered. They have seen that time is just this important thing, this important currency that we just cannot take advantage of. And that's why they encourage the youth to use their time productively. Because the youth don't even know where they might be in the future. But they know that when that future comes, they will be grateful for putting in that work, putting in that time back in the day. I'll give you a personal example. I've been learning German for the past 3-4 years. And my mom didn't understand the concept. She didn't understand, why am I learning German? And to be honest, I don't really quite know why I resonated with German. But since then, I've been able to travel to Germany. I've been able to integrate myself. I'm still not fluent, but I'm able to hold conversation. And that opens up many doors. I still do not know where this German might take me. But because of the fact that I put in the time, got qualified for A2 level, I'm able to hold networks because of the fact that I'm able to communicate in their language. Now, we may not know the consequences of our actions in the future, but we still need to act. When we act, we can try to determine the consequence, but we still need to act. We still need to put in the time. The younger we are, the better it is for us. We have an advantage. I get jealous when I hear of, teenage business owners, even if they might be failing in their business or they're not making profit. The fact that they started at 18, 19, I'm like, yo, you guys are out here. Because the wealth of knowledge that they're going to get by the time they're 21 might be way more than the information and knowledge that a 30-year-old would get that just started their business at 29. And it's amazing. It's amazing. In the world that we live in, it's easy to start a business. Sustaining it, that's where the experience comes in. But if you start early, you can gain that experience so quick and so thorough. So I encourage the youth to put in work. If you look at the animal kingdom, the lion, very majestic, very fierce, very brave. The lion is the king of the jungle. But just because he's the king of the jungle, it doesn't mean that a gazelle or a springbok or a deer is going to be like, yo, king, eat me. The king still has to go out and find food. The king still has to chase. The best of the best still have to go out and chase. They still have to go out and put in work. They still have to sweat. Even if they are on the throne, they still have to put in that work. So who are we as average people? Who are we as people who just wake up, eat, sleep, watch TV? Who are we? When there are people that are already the best that are still putting in that work. We cannot hate on the top 1% because of the fact that They're still grinding as if they're the underdog. And at X Factor Youth, we want to preach, we want to instill, we want to encourage, we want to motivate our X Factor youth to do something extraordinary, to exceed expectations. How you do that is how you spend your time. And how we suggest you spend your time is to put in work. Put in so much work, especially in the age that you're in. Grind, put in that work, break yourself, repair yourself, make mistakes, fix those mistakes, hurt yourself, come out with scratches and wounds as memories of the time that you put in work. Because one day you will be rewarded. And we need to forget about instant gratification. We need to forget that if we work hard today, tomorrow we will have the rewards. Our rewards might come in 5 years from now. But that particular thing that you're doing at that time, right now, you will find the reward for it 10 years down the line. But the important thing is that you put in that time at that time. It's similar to planting a seed. You plant a seed, it takes about 10 seconds, putting the seed in the sand. You're not going to expect a tree tomorrow. You will expect the tree in 15, 20 years from now. A proper tree that produces apples, for example. But you had to plant that seed. That tree wouldn't be there 10 years if you did not plant that seed. So that's how we need to look at life. So the earlier you plant that seed, the earlier you water that seed, the earlier you gain experience learning how to groom that tree, that plant, you will reap so much rewards 20 years down the line. But we need to put in that time, we need to put in that work, we need to grind, we need to just do it. So ladies and gentlemen, X Factor Youth, put in that work. No matter which part of society you're in, which level, which class, put in that work. Because you will be rewarded. This is Bliss Sibiya from X Factor Youth International. Have a good one.